Today, we're going to be doing a much needed book review. It has been a while since I last shared a book review on this channel. The last two books that I tried to read before picking up this book ended up being ones that I just chose not to finish, and I did add those to my book journal. However, I just was like, I need either a 4-star or 5-star read at this point. And I was so happy with this book. I gave it a 5-star review, so that'll tell you how much I liked this. So this is called A Founding Mother. I accidentally wrote a foundling mother, but I did cross that out and write the right word. That happens every now and then. Sometimes when, like, not this book, but sometimes when I read books that have like a different font as the title, I feel like there's extra letters when there's not. It's just the way the font looks sometimes. Anyway, so this is a physical book. I do have some books on my Kindle that I do want to read at some point. I haven't been reading a whole lot on my Kindle lately. I have been decorating it for each season, but I haven't been reading a whole lot on it lately, which is totally fine. I still really like my Kindle. I'm happy I got it, but I did say to myself that when I got the Kindle last year, it was not going to replace my love of physical books, and I was probably going to read more physical books than I did Kindle books, but whatever. I still like my Kindle. I'm just not using it as much right now. Anyway, so this book was written by Stephanie Dray and Laura Kamoe, I want to say. I apologize if I am mispronouncing that. Um, I'm going to say this one is called a historical fiction. I think it is. I could be wrong. That's why I write a question mark there. I give this one 5-star review or 5-star rating, like I said. And also, like, for anyone who's interested in doing like book journals or something like that, I would recommend using a highlighter like I'm using to fill in the little stars because it's going to be a whole lot easier. You can 100% use little star stickers if you want to. I just personally like to use the marker. I just feel like it's a little bit easier for me. So, the reason why I decided to read this book was I have read two other books from this author and I really, really liked them. She's written more books than that. I actually looked at that the other day. Um, but um, I really liked the two books that I read from this author, and I was like, I have a feeling I'm gonna really like this one also. Um, the way that this author writes, like this type of book, is she writes it in the form of what looks like journal entries, which I really, really like because it's really unique and different. I read other books that have like chapters being like journal entries, but the reason why I like it with this type of book is I feel like it just makes you feel like you're in that time of history, if that makes sense. So this book basically is just the story of Abigail Adams, how her husband became president, how her son became president, all the ups and downs that they went through. Just in general, I really, really liked this book, and I was so happy that it was a 5-star read for me. Um, and I would 100% highly recommend it. Now, one thing I will say though about this book is I did feel like toward the end, there was a small little part of the book that I felt like did not need to be added because I felt like it kind of got a little bit slow for a bit, but it picked right back up, and I was really, really happy just with how the book was written. I was really happy with how easily I read it, all of that type of stuff. And if you are a person that likes reading historical books, I would definitely recommend giving this one a go. I will say though that historical books for me, they are like a palate cleanser in a book. I don't know why, but I love learning about history. I find history fascinating. So does my family. And I just really like history. It's one of those things that when I watch like one documentary on like a past president, or I watch a documentary on a historical time of, the country, I end up watching like three others because I just find it fascinating. Now, there are times in history I don't like. I think everyone has those moments in history they don't like, and then moments in history that they do like. Like for me, for example, one of my favorite time periods of history is the pioneer time. I really, really like that little house on the prairie type vibe. I love that time period. I don't know why, but I just do. But yeah, so I would definitely recommend this. And I will also say that this is going to be part of my historical book series. So this will be under not only book reviews, but historical books also. And one thing I've seen a lot of people doing on Instagram recently is sharing like historical book recommendations if you want to read something like that for the 250 of the country. Um, I would think this would be a great book to read for that, with it being tomorrow. But also, if you are a person who just loves reading history in general, if you just love reading historical books in general, I would recommend this. Like, you don't have to read them only for 4th of July. Like, you can read them all year long. But yeah, this was definitely a 5-star read. I was so happy, and that's it for this video.